Everything is created twice. It's created once in our minds, and then we bring it into the world. And the nature of what we get in the world reflects the nature and quality of how we think. And so if our thinking is fuzzy, our results are fuzzy. If our thinking is confused or ambiguous, so are our results, and so are what we bring into the world. And we start to find ourselves lost and realize, I don't know what's going on. And it often tracks back to that thinking and getting real control around how we think. So the quality and the nature of the questions that we ask ourselves are incredibly important. Now here's the problem. The problem is most of us don't take control of our thinking. We have all these things, these scripts that run through our head, these questions we're asking ourselves all the time, and it turns out most of them aren't all that useful. Questions like, what's wrong with me? Why do I always get that wrong? Why can't I make that work the way I want it to? But here's a very interesting thing. There's two problems with that. One has to do with the nature of the brain. If you ask the brain a question, it's fantastic. It'll answer. So if you say, what's wrong with me? Your brain will go, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And so we need to start to change the kinds of questions that we're asking ourselves. And if the question is, how do I do that better? The brain will say, this, and this, and this, and this. But the problem is, and this goes to the second issue, we continue to reinforce the wrong kinds of questions in our brain. So if we've been asking ourselves a question, for example, that says, what's wrong with me? Why aren't I smart? Why aren't I successful? Your brain will keep answering that. But if you've been asking yourself that question over and over and over, maybe without even knowing it, if you've been doing that for 20 years, your brain has answered that question 7,300 times and just simply reinforced what's wrong. We need to shift the questions that we're asking ourselves if we want to transform the life and the experience that we're having and if we want to transform our businesses.